Yes, hello everyone. We were going to discuss today about one of the most controversial issue that had happened before and is still in question today. We will try to uncover the mysteries of Rizal's retraction letter, and did he really retract or not? But first, we will take a glimpse of his life back then and how did all this happen. So, his real name is Dr. Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Realonda. Quite a long name, huh? He is popularly known as Jose Rizal. He was a Filipino specialist, nationalist, and the most noticeable promoter for reforms in the Philippines during the Spanish time. And yes, he is declared the national hero of our country. Rizal became a part of the propaganda movement, which is the La Liga Filipina, and wrote his first novel, No Limitang Here, that explains the dark side of the Spain's colonial regulations in the Philippines with specific emphasis on the role of Catholic friars, and his book, The El Filibusterismo, which was dedicated to the three martyrs, the Gumburza. The propaganda movement was focused on the desire to have the same treatment of the Filipinos and Spaniards. With his trip to Spain, Rizal entered into a fraternal organization which is called the Freemasonry. He believed that a guild or a brotherhood would aid him in achieving his dream of the liberty that must be attained by the Filipino people from the oppression and abuse from the Catholic friars or the Spanish rulers. His association with this group means that he abolished his connection or involvement in the Catholic religion from its practices to its culture and beliefs. Upon his return to the Philippines, he was arrested by the Spanish government and exiled to the island of Dapitan. He was judged guilty in his charges of rebellion due to his reported contributions with the revolutionary groups. With this crime, he was sentenced to death. As Dr. Rizal was about to be executed, some said that he made a letter of retraction renouncing his involvement in the Freemasonry and embracing back the teaching of the Church and of Christianity. This letter made so many questions about what really was the last decision of Jose Rizal. So now we will take a look of Rizal's retraction letter and tackle about the controversies and conflicts of this issue. Now this is what it looks like. His retraction letter. This was said to be the original words of Dr. Jose Rizal wrote in his letter of retraction renouncing his involvement towards Freemason group, and this letter was discovered by Father Manuel Garcia on 18th of May 1935. To let us understand more clearly about the retraction letter, these are the words that had been translated into the English language. So, let me read this. I declare myself a Catholic, and in this religion in which I was born and educated, I wish to live and die. I retract with all my heart whatever in my words, writings, publications, and conduct has been contrary to my character as son of the Catholic Church. I believe and I confess whatever she teaches, and I submit to whatever she demands. I abominate Masonry as the enemy which is of the Church and as a society prohibited by the Church. The diocesan prelate may, as the superior ecclesiastical authority, make public this spontaneous manifestation of mine in order to repair the scandal which my acts may have caused, and so that God and people may pardon me. So, there are two opposing groups which had firm beliefs about the controversy. The first is the Catholic Rizalist, who really assumed that he retracted and the other one is the Masonic or Masonic Rizalists, who believe that Rizal did not withdraw from being a Mason. So let's talk first about the Catholic Rizalists, about their reasons, their arguments, and their controversies about this. So they have the possible reasons why Rizal retracted. First is to save his family from being oppressed and persecuted by Spanish friars. Second, so that the Spanish friars would allow Rizal and Josephine Bracken, to have legal rights as a married couple. Lastly, to help church in gaining back the dignity they have lost when Rizal had harmed them. Rizal did not want to damage the church, specifically the Roman Catholic Church, but to eradicate the disease which caused great damage between the church and the state in the Philippines. The next reason is the burial place of Rizal. So Diviana said he retracted he died as a Catholic, and a proof that he died as a Catholic was he buried inside the sacred grounds of Paco Cemetery. So she compared the martyr with Apolinario Mabini, a revolutionary and Freemason who was buried in a Chinese cemetery. Only those people that are died Catholics are buried in the Paco Cemetery. It was the cemetery of the Spanish friars and the Filipino Catholics. If Rizal really did not retract, why is his body are on this burial place? Okay, and the last reason was his conversation between Father Obach, Villa Clara, and Balaguer, who persuaded him to retract. So let's move on to the side or the standpoint of Masonic or Masonic Rizalists. So for them, the document was forged. Document forgery. The document only surfaced for public viewing on May 13, 1935. It was found by Father Manuel A. Garcia at the Catholic Hierarchies Archive in Manila, but the original document was never shown to the public, only reproductions of it. However, Father Pio Pai, a Spanish Jesuit, reported that as early as 1907, the retraction of Rizal was copied verbatim and published in Spain and reprinted in Manila. Father Garcia, who found the original document, also copied it verbatim. In both productions, there were conflicting versions of the text. Add to this, the date of the signing was very clear in the original Spanish document which Rizal supposedly signed. The date was December 29, 1890. Later, another supposedly original document surfaced. It bears the date December 29, 1809C. The number 0 was evidently altered to make it look like a letter C. Then, still later, another supposedly original version came up. Again, it has the date December 29, 1896. This time, the 0 became a 6. So, next is the questionable persuasion of the Spanish friars for Rizal to retract. The church was interested in his retraction ever since he was in the Pitan in 1982, and the friars never mentioned about the retraction until after Rizal's death. Also, they want him dead and retracted. If Rizal retracted earlier, he could have been used this as a defense to save him from the verdict. That is according to Pascual, 1950. Father Sanchez, head of the Jesuit mission house in the Pitan, was specially tasked to convince Rizal to retract in exchange for his stay in the Jesuit mission house, and much later, as a condition prior to his marriage to Josephine Bracken in a formal religious ceremony. Next is the over-defense of the church. Rizal's relatives were promised that the letter would be read to them in Paco Church, but never heard of it. That caused doubt. The newspapers published various indifferent versions. That caused doubt. And lastly, Father Pius said that they looked for it but could not find it. That caused doubt. Lastly, Father Vicente Balaguer claimed that he performed the official marriage between 6 to 6:15 a.m. of December 30, 1896 in the company of one of the Rizal sisters. But the Rizal family denied that any of the Rizal sisters were there that significant morning. Dr. Jose Rizal was martyred at 7:03 a.m. Nobody had reported seeing Miss Josephine Brocken in the vicinity of Fort Santiago in the morning of the execution. So, aside from the two opposing groups, there is this side which is called the third side. So this third side, according to them, okay, surely whether Rizal died as a Catholic or an apostate adds or detracts nothing from his greatness as a Filipino. Catholic or Mason, Rizal is still Rizal, the hero who courted death to prove to those who deny our patriotism that we know how to die for our country and our beliefs. So that was according to Camacho and Magsipok 2013. So that was the standpoint of this third side, that they doesn't care whether he died or Rizal died as a Catholic or Mason. The important thing is he is the first or the reason of why the revolutionary groups had emerged and lead us to our freedom. So that was all of the conflicts and controversies I have gathered, I have researched, and I hope you have been enlightened or have been informed about this brief discussion of mine. So thank you. So did he really retract or not? What do you think?